All right. A lot of times when I'm in coaching, I tell people the most important words in the world are any words that follow I am. So I want you to complete that sentence. I am.
I wrote down I am compass because I thought that would make a good clip. But
Taking over pieces and shares of all big sky high. Check the movement is here. Yeah. It's one heart, one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
Hi, welcome back to the Compass Studio. Today, I have the honor of talking to Knute Brookshier, one of our top agents and one of our earliest agents to join Compass. Knute, glad you're here.
hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to asking some of these questions.
Awesome.
So let's start with the easy ones. Where did you grow up?
I grew up here, San Diego. I was born in La Mesa. I went to Helix High School and graduated from Christian High.
Wow.
And spent some time in Northern California for college, but primarily have lived in the Allied Gardens area.
You know, it's rare that you find native San Diegans, and I got to tell you, most of the agents I've been talking to, all born here.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what the correlation is or if there is any, but it's impressive how many native San Diegans we have working here.
I think you're partial to where you're from. And so I think when you're doing a job like ours and you're selling real estate, you tend to be more passionate about neighborhoods you've grown up in, places you've made memories. I've had many memories in like the Mission Beach area or just different parts of the community. And so you end up having stories, and you're not just selling the house, but you're also selling kind of the neighborhood, the community it comes with. And I think it just flows naturally. So
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. That may be particular to this profession.
yeah, it helps. It helps. But I've seen a lot of successful agents from all over.
Okay, so growing up out here, what was your first job that you would call a job?
I worked at SeaWorld at 16. So I was in high school. I worked in the restaurants, so I wasn't training Shamu or swimming with the dolphins. But it was a good first job, and it was a pretty cool first job getting to be there.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for 2 summers, so 2 years.
2 years. Okay, so then before you went to real estate, did you go directly as a profession, or did you have another career before real estate?
I worked for CAL FIRE for 7 years as
Wow.
a seasonal firefighter, and I did that up in Lassen County. And so that was definitely something I thought would be my long-term career. And I think I would have stuck with it had I not really started missing kids' birthdays, family events. I was missing a lot of things that were important to me. And so I took a jump into real estate, put everything I had into it, and it turned out to be something that was just a huge success. And I'm so thankful to be doing real estate now.
You know, we hear a lot about real estate as a profession takes you away from your family.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear, no, there's careers that take you away a lot more.
Yeah, fire was tough because as much as I loved the job and what I was doing, I was never home at night. I'd probably be, during the summer, I was gone 5 out of 7 days most
Wow.
weeks. And so coming home at night, being able to schedule around real important events, birthdays, and if someone has a game or something, it's something I'm really thankful for.
I love it. Well, that may be the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's the best part about being a real estate agent?
You're catching people at a really interesting time in their life in most cases because there's different reasons why people are selling or buying, but usually it's a life event. So it could be their family's growing, it could be that their family's shrinking, it could be something positive, it could be something negative. But you have a chance to kind of intercept them with where they're at in that particular phase in their life and have a huge impact, not just from an investment side, but you're also going to impact them on how they remember you, how you treated them. Did you listen to them? Did you have empathy and take into account everything they're going through and where they're heading? So I guess the best part to me is getting to meet people at all different types of crossroads and them trusting me to be an advisor and in their corner at that time in their life.
There must be a part of you that likes that. I mean, that's curious about people or.
Yeah. I'm a people watcher. So I love going to the mall and just kind of hanging out and watching people, or going to the beach, same thing. I definitely find people to be really, really cool and interesting. And I think that I've met some amazing people through real estate, and I'm really, really thankful for that.
Wow. Who's had the biggest impact so far on the success? You have obvious success.
I
Is there any
don't know
one?
it's an individual. So coming out of fire, and even before fire, I was always a part of a team. I mean, I'm one of 5 kids in my family. Played football and different, sporting growing up. And then in fire, you have your crew and your group, and you depend on each other. And in real estate, I quickly found myself really going towards that aspect and becoming part of a team. And I joined a team with my brother and a close friend who's named George.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I always stayed on a team. I eventually ended up running a team, and now I continue to run a team with my partner, George. And I think that that's something that's made me successful, is having that collaboration, having people from different backgrounds really help sharpen the tools. And it's been something that's really impactful.
It's something you've enjoyed your whole life. Being part of a
Yes.
team makes you
Yes.
feel some responsibility, some accountability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of all the things you've done, all the things you've accomplished, and it's obviously a lot, what are you most proud of?
This question's tough. I think it's an easy answer, but I'm not sure if it's the right answer. Basically, I'm most proud of my kids. I've got 3 kids. I've got 2 daughters and a son. And it's not that we're there yet with them or anything like that, but every day that I look at them, I'm like, man, I'm so proud of the kids they are and how they've become what they've become. And so I know it's not career oriented, but it's definitely what I'm most proud of.
Right? It doesn't have to be career oriented.
Yeah. Okay.
Raising young people to become good people.
Exactly.
That is something to be proud of.
Yes.
Very cool. What's your strangest or funniest or craziest story in real
I
estate?
have a lot. Yeah, I have a
assume
lot.
Real estate.
I have a lot of crazy real estate stories. I have a lot of crazy real estate stories. I'll say one that's not too far out there.
Yeah, remember this is a family show.
Yeah,
so-
this is a family show. So I think one thing that was kind of cool was I was having a hard time getting an appointment set with someone who needs to sell their place. And there was always a reason. They both worked. The parents both worked. They had kids. And schedules wise, it just was never lining up. Finally, one day, I found a solution to the problem. I said, listen, I'll bring dinner. I'll put the kids to bed, whether it be read them a story. I'm not going to, bathe them and everything, but I'll read them a story. I'll do whatever I have to do to make this appointment happen. If you're coming home from work, if you're doing this. And we basically arranged a time where I didn't end up having to put the kids to bed, but I came with dinner. I had their listing presentation, and we worked around their super busy life. And it ended up being
You got the listing?
I got the listing. So
You got to be creative in this business.
you have to be
That's
creative.
what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Have you ever had a client like that, or any client that touched your heart enough that it impacted your business or how you do your business?
Yeah, I think after a lot of difficult transactions, you look back and you say, man, that was difficult. Why? I don't have one story in particular, but I can say that usually I look back after the transaction's closed and said, man, that was really difficult for this reason. How can we make it easier on people going forward? And how can we have them better prepared for maybe this thing we didn't see coming? And so we always reevaluate at the end of the transaction.
So really, every transaction you have impacts the next person's transaction.
That's exactly right.
I like that. That's always learning,
Yeah, I think
always adding.
I think that's why the experience is such a big thing in real estate, is having someone who's been there, done that quite a few times.
Your friends, like from fire, your friends who aren't in the business, if I asked them, hey, what do you think Knute actually does all day? What would they say?
Text, talks on the phone. Probably just thinks I'm on my phone all day.
On your phone?
Yeah.
Are you on your phone all day?
I mean, that's a good amount of the time. I think it's because it's something that's, whenever you have a text come in or an email come in, you try to respond quickly. And so it ends up being a lot of time throughout the day. Not the whole day, but you just are constantly
added it up.
responding. Yes.
You're here at Compass. You're one of the early adopters. Why did you choose Compass? What made you do that?
I mean, I'd like to believe Compass chose me. But
like that.
no, I did choose Compass because we were looking for something that was going to have a very professional feel to it, a culture that's well established, but not be something that's old school in their ways. And so we like that it has a big brand. We like that people here take their job seriously, but we really appreciated that when you came over here, they were open to new ideas, listening to doing things differently, while at the same time the staff they're hiring are constantly looking for creative ways to solve problems. So we really, really liked that.
Now you've been here a while.
Yeah.
the things you thought it would be? Has it lived up to it? Has it fallen short? Has it given you more than you expected?
We kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Internally, myself and our team, we were kind of like, all right, let's see what it's really like once we move over.
Mm-hmm.
And there was never a shoe that dropped. And then years went by and we kept looking back saying, man, what are we missing here? And so it's definitely exceeded expectations, because our expectations were that it was going to be close to what they promised, but it's been everything that was promised.
When something seems like, now we have to wait. We
Yeah.
got to find out where
Yeah.
that's good. That's really good. I know you have some partners. I'm wondering if there's one agent you could name that you look up to. Like that's an agent.
I do. I haven't met Ruth Refkin, but she's an agent out of New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and she's someone who overcame a lot of adversity to get to where she's at today. And through her journey and struggle and passion and drive and perseverance, she's been very successful. She's a veteran agent, and she actually ended up raising the CEO of our company, Robert. And so I look at her and look at someone who overcame a lot of challenges, but stayed in the grind, kept working, while at the same time she didn't leave her family behind. I mean, she raised them in a way to where he's now someone who is going to take her story and push it even further. And so I think she's a really cool inspiration of an agent, even though I haven't met her in person.
It's a really interesting answer. I mean, everybody respects Robert Refkin.
Yeah.
And he created this, but you're going back to the source.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
his mom.
His mom, yeah.
Would you like to meet her?
I'd love to meet her.
You know, we actually had. No, I'm just teasing. Wouldn't that be something?
I was like, here she is. Let's do it.
Well, we got to figure out a way to make that happen. That's pretty.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. What's a perception about real estate that most people have that you know not to be true?
I think the perception about real estate that's out there is you've got a lot of glamorous, it's a lot about marketing, suits and ties, and it's not that that's not true. It's that it's not always true. What I've learned since being in real estate now for almost 10 years is that there's all different kinds of agents. There's the agent who always is in a suit and tie. There's the agent who are always in their sandals. There's agents and everything in between. And so I think just the perception that agents are always one way or one skill set, one type of background, whether it be like financials. There's agents who are just really, really emotionally intelligent. And they are, maybe not the best at the contract, but they have someone on their team who is.
Right.
So that's the perception I think that is not true, is that most agents are the same.
They're as diverse as the people they serve.
Correct. That's a good way to put it.
Is there something about yourself, by the way, that you say, if I could change this one thing about me?
Yeah, there's a few things. I would say I'd like to be more social naturally. I feel like I get into a social environment. It takes me a while to kind of figure out how to warm up and how to make connections with people. But I think that that's okay, because it's ended up serving me well in real estate. The people who work with me have found that I'm extremely authentic. I'm someone who is going to be exactly who I am, and so that's been something that's been the way I've overcome that challenge.
Right. That's been my experience with you. I know exactly who I'm going to get.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you said, agents are as diverse as the people they serve.
Right.
There's people who want their agent to be you.
Yeah.
They don't want the over-the-top, bubbly, friendly, I'm going to be your best friend forever. They want
have
somebody they
coffee
think
for
is
that.
serious, right?
Yeah.
They have coffee for that. Okay, if you had a billboard out on Interstate 8 that could say anything that you wanted to say, what would be on that billboard?
Well, today's date is, I think, September, what are we at?
The 7th.
7th? Perfect. Okay, so I would probably, for today's date, say recall Newsom, but I know that might not be something that is relevant in the future. So for the future, I would have something basically acknowledging and respecting the veterans that live and serve in our community, because I think that that's something every single month, every single year, there's different ways that our freedom, I'm just so appreciative of those guys and women who are out there serving for us. And in San Diego, we're so fortunate that there's tons of bases here locally. So I think just a reminder to people that we're living amongst, people who are sacrificing for us to have the freedom that we have every day.
A short term and a long term.
A short term, yeah. One for today and one for every other day of the year.
That would be especially popular in San Diego. We are surrounded by
Yeah.
military.
Yeah, and I think we don't see them often enough.
No, unless you go to the Sunday Padres game, you
Right,
don't realize
right.
how many people are either in the military or veterans.
Yep.
If you knew that you could not fail, what project would you take on right now?
Ooh, I don't know if this is a popular one. I'd probably start a real estate brokerage.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. I just wanted to see how you'd react to that. I think
Having done it, I would say don't.
no, I wouldn't do that. I think something that I've always wanted to do is become a pilot, and I think if I knew I wouldn't fail and could go back in time and just really put in the work and effort, that's something I'd always wanted to do.
Do you still think about, I mean, you could get a pilot's license. Is it something?
I could get a pilot's license. I mean more as to be something
commercial.
yeah, commercial, and really do it as a I guess it would be a cool hobby, but I haven't had the time to really pursue it.
Real estate takes up a lot of time.
It does.
And then you still have your family.
Exactly.
Okay. If you could have dinner with any three people, living or dead, who would you have dinner with?
This is tough because you're trying to think about the dynamic of like everyone there at the table. Man. All right. So my dad passed away a few years ago, so I'd have him there for sure. My grandfather recently passed away, which is his adopted father, and so I would have him there just because you know how it is. Once someone passes away, you're like, man, there's all these things I wish I would have asked them. And then, we'd have Jesus at that table. So it'd be my grandfather, my father, Jesus, and we'd sit at the table and probably have a lot to talk about.
Would you say those are the three men that have had the biggest impact on your life?
I would say that there's been a lot. My dad's definitely been one of the biggest impacts of my life, but I would say that my grandfather, because I didn't get to see him as often as other influential men in my life, I don't know if he'd be the most, but definitely my dad.
Wow. All right. A lot of times when I'm in coaching, I tell people the most important words in the world are any words that follow I am. So I want you to complete that sentence. I am.
I wrote down I am compass because I thought that would make a good clip. But what I think I am is I've been told, something that I thought was a really cool compliment is that I'm teachable. And so that meant a lot to me because that means that I'm moldable, I'm adaptable, and that's really important. I think being able to grow has a lot to do with your willingness to change. And so I would say adaptable would be how I'd finish that. I am adaptable.
What's most interesting in that? Early on, we talked about how authentic he is. Even now, you have a fun line, you have a clip, but you couldn't let it be. You had to be you. You had to authentically answer the question.
Yeah, that's true.
I think your clients love you for that. I think that's a big part of why you have the success you have.
It's not just the jokes.
No,
You're right.
They know when they get you, they know who they're going to get. You have their back.
Thank you.
They can trust you. Okay, I'm going to end this the way I do with all of these, which is a direct ripoff from Inside the Actor's Studio. He always had 10 questions.
All right.
So I'm going to ask you the 10 questions.
Let's do it.
What is your favorite word?
Oh, smashing.
What is your least favorite word?
Probably COVID.
What sound or noise do you love?
This one's tied. I like the noise of birds, and I like the noise of waves or the ocean.
Okay. What sound or noise do you hate?
The chalkboard is something I don't enjoy. That sound definitely is one of them.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I think flying, even though it's such a popular one, because it's a cool feeling. I've done skydiving before a few times, and it's a really, really cool feeling. So, yeah, that'd be mine.
How do you cure a hangover?
You just don't drink.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I'll say pilot for that one, since I've done firefighting, and I know I like that one too.
What profession would you not like to do?
I wouldn't want to be in an office too long. 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, something like that. So, and maybe like accounting wouldn't be right for me.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Where is your favorite spot in San Diego?
Ooh, there's a few. I'll go with Mission Beach. Got kind of grew up going to that beach. Love going to the beach. It's got a lot going on, so I like Mission Beach.
10th question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You made it. Come see all your friends. Come see your family. Have it be some sort of celebration of like a reunion of seeing a lot of people you look forward to seeing.
I love this.
Yeah.
Having you on camera and answering the questions has been fantastic.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Authentic. Ladies and gentlemen, Knute Brookshier.
Thanks, Sean.
Working on the plot and the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one shot for the kill. The breeze cut, freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares. A bomb big sky high. Check the movement is here.